in modern times, I went to Google Baba. I went to internet. It is the current trend. It is the present scenario. But on the internet, I did not find very satisfactory material. The material I found there was not to my satisfaction. I want to tell you this thing to you. Most of the students, they go to internet for standard material. Go to books, go to library, and consult the standard books. You cannot get standard material on the internet. Then I was worried about how to get standard material for doing justice to my duty. Then there was a type of stress in my mind. All of a sudden, an idea came to my mind. The idea was that I had studied 3 dramas by Maharaja. Actually, my area of research is fiction, and my area of interest is poetry. And I have not much interest in natakbaji or dramabaji because life itself is a drama. If you understand your life, then you can understand the dramas written by all dramatists. Because life represents, truly represents the dramatic world, and drama represents practical life all on human beings. And you know that the subject drama is a wide area. So the 3 dramas that I studied were the first one, second drama that I studied was the April, and third drama was Science. So these 3 dramas I had studied the text also for teaching them to the students in the class. Not for the sake of my interest, I did not study them. I studied them for teaching them to the students. And for that, I had to study the text also, because in the Institute for Excellence in Higher Education, and the students, they put up very perplexing questions to the teachers many times. And for that, the study of text is compulsory. Critical books cannot provide you much material. Go to the text book, because text gives the basis of the material. So I studied the text of these 3 dramas also. And then in my mind, I thought of preparing the material from these 3 dramas and connect the material to topics, their relevance in the present scenario. Actually, there have been 2 dramatists of immense popularity in the Western world. First is William Shakespeare, and second is G.B. Shaw. G.B. Shaw is considered next to William Shakespeare. All of us know it very well. William Shakespeare may be superior to Bernard Shaw in respect of popularity, because Shakespeare has gained a lot of popularity, and he had great hunger for popularity. But so far as the question of relevance of the dramas and the current scenario is concerned, I think Bernard Shaw is at the top. All of us know it very well that he is a man of ideas, and his ideas are so relevant that they are relevant not in the current scenario, but they will remain relevant in coming 100 years also. How they will remain relevant? It is a very important question. What are those ideas that Bernard Shaw gave to the world? These ideas we find from his dramas. So I studied three dramas. First drama is Arms and the Man. One thing more I would like to tell you about Shakespeare and Bernard Shaw, because modern time is a time of comparison. And because these two dramatists, they enjoy a great popularity, and comparison is needed. Shakespeare wrote dramas for the entertainment of audience, and Bernard Shaw wrote dramas for religious, cultural, and socio-political transformation. Bernard Shaw did not have hunger for popularity. He wanted to make change in society. And his drama, all dramas that reflect this desire of Bernard Shaw. And so his first drama, Arms and the Man. I will discuss the issues of the drama and we try to connect the issues in the current scenario. The important issues in the drama are three. First is war, second is love, and third is marriage. And fourth, that is minor issue. And fourth is class discrimination or poverty or social inequality, we can say. These are issues in this drama. First is war. All the speakers, they spoke about war. They spoke about the idea of Bernard Shaw about the war. Actually, Bernard Shaw's idea of war revolutionized the entire concept of war. He was against war. He said that war is not a matter of glory, but it is dull and sordid affair of brutal strength and careless planning. This was the view of Bernard Shaw about the war. And he said that war arises from the ambition of the rulers. Rulers always have high ambitions and they want to fulfill their ambitions. And for this purpose, they go for war and they employ their soldiers. Because the thing that they give salary to soldiers, to military, to forces, why should not we utilize it for a benefit? And second thing, they want to satisfy their ego also. They want to have benefit in different areas. For that, they employ their army. And if victory comes to their bag, then they will get a lot of popularity in the entire world. That's their ambition. What is the war? Bernard Shaw says that war leads to poverty. War leads to the loss of manpower and money power. It leads to so many harmful repercussions. Peace is completely destroyed. There's no peace in war. Peace and war are opposite of each other. After the war is over, only for that purpose they went for war. Then what was the purpose? In the current scenario also, the countries which are preparing themselves for war, for example, Russia and Ukraine at present time. And you have got news many times. Future there will be between India and China, or between India and Pakistan. But India is never in favor of war. India is always in favor of peace. Because Nehru, he was the follower, he was very much a fan of George Bernard Shaw. And he made policy that we shall never attack any country. But if any country attacks us, What about but in the meantime, what happens? Blunt Sally comes to a room. There is a long conversation between Blunt Sally and Raina, and she falls in love with Blunt Sally. See the how love plays havoc with the marriage prospects.
आवाज नहीं आ रही। Voice is not
And
coming, sir.
she fails to marry Sergius, and her servant, female servant Luca, she marries Sergius. Just see the disastrous result of this love of Rana towards Blunt. So you know that is clear that from the dramas of Vanarsa, both in both areas, in the area of war, in the area of love, everything is unfair. Third issue is the issue of marriage, and how is it connected with the current scenario? Lana marries Bluntschli, although her parents were in favor of her marriage with Sergius. But her parents don't impose their decisions on Lana. And even Luca marries Sergius without any kind of opposition from her parents, from her family. In this way, they have the free choice, freedom of their choice in respect of the choice of their life partner. In the current scenario, you know, the time has come when girls and boys should be given a chance to choose the life partner of their own choice. Time has come. Otherwise, the situations like living relationship they appear, they emerge. That's current scenario. I think Rana also lived in a living relationship with Bluntschli. Contractual relationship, contractual marriage that I think Bajpeyi, the keynote speaker of the first session, spoke about contractual marriage. What is this contractual marriage? That is a living relationship that is going on in the present scenario in the metropolitan cities. So about marriage, Banasa's views are that the girls and wives should be given freedom, and decisions of the parents should not be imposed on them with regard to their choice. The fourth issue that is there in the that is class difference. Nicola is a servant, and Luca is also a servant. Both are servants. Both belong to poor family, and they have to serve their masters very faithfully. Nicola is very much affected by this class difference because Luca marries Sergius and Nicola's prospect of marriage with Luca are spoiled only because he is servant. Luca does not marry Nicola. Luca says to Nicola that you are servant and I am born not to remain servant throughout my life. I will marry a man belonging to this family. So she marries Sergius and she rejects Nicola. Now Nicola is deprived of marriage with Luca only because he is servant. So class difference is there in the drama. And in the present scenario, we see all the examples of such things in the present society also. The servants, they are treated worse than the dogs in the rich families. In the present time we see. And second drama is the apple cart. And the apple cart is a political drama. And we can learn a lot from this drama also. The important lesson that we can learn from the drama is from Sergius, Magnus, who is the king in the drama. Magnus is a personality who can give a lot of message to us. He's a king and he holds a lot of power in his hand. But he's very cool tempered. He's a man of the temperament of a very coolness and he's cool and composed. He does not lose temper. He is called India rubber stamp by the ministers of the Prime Minister and by the ministers of the Ministry of the Prime Minister. So he is called India rubber stamp. It means that he has no power in himself. He is only a rubber stamp. All the powers lie with the Prime Minister. And on many occasions also he faces humiliation from the side of the ministers and the Prime Minister also. But he does not react. His responses are very calm. And he is like drama, this word has been used, he's like cucumber, he is as cool as cucumber. And you know, people of such temperament, they get victory in the end. And they make good decisions. Good decisions appear only in the mind which is full of peace and calmness, not in the disturbed mind, you know. If full of excitement, full of stress and strength, then good decisions don't come to your mind. So Magnus gets victory over a very smart lady. And here I am mindful of Vanessa also. One day, a smart lady came to Vanessa and said to Vanessa, I want to marry you. I want to marry you. Vanessa was ugly, very ugly. I think his photo is not there. Photo should be there today at least. Of Vanessa. Vanessa was very ugly. Vanessa said, why do you want to marry me? Why? The smart lady said, I want to marry you because our child will be as beautiful as myself and as intelligent as yourself. Do you know what reply Vanessa gave? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I want to ask this answer from your side. Can you imagine?
It might have happened opposite.
If opposite of this takes place, then what will? Uh, oh, okay. Very good. Yes, sir. Very good. Very. Intellectual. Okay. If opposite takes place, and if child that is born from us is as ugly as myself and as unintelligent as yourself, then what will happen? What is the question? Any question? Interesting. I think this type of the references. It is real. It is actual happening. It's not imaginary. It's not imaginary. You know. It's actual. So then, lady went away. He did not try further. So I was talking about Orinthia in Arms and the Man. Orinthia was a beautiful lady, and she wanted to become queen. And she said to King Magnus, leave your wife and accept me as your wife. Marry me, make me your queen, because with a inverted comma, I am like a rose and your wife is like a cabbage. Cabbage means gobi. Rose and your wife is like a cabbage. So like Varnasha, King Magnus gives a very fitting reply. I think we can connect Varnasha here with King Magnus. Magnus says very intelligently, Gavis was one day rose. Gavis was one day rose, and one day rose will become a Gavis. Rose will become a Gavis one day, and Gavis was once a rose. Let's see. And in this way, he frustrated all the plans of Orinthia. Then Orinthia did not put pressure on Banarsa, on Magnus for marriage. Although Magnus told Orinthia that I cannot leave my wife at any cost. So I was telling you about the message that we can get from the personality of Magnus in this drama. The drama is political drama, and Magnus says to ministers, because ministers, they are always in the position of the king. He says to ministers, ministers may come, ministers may go. Ministers may come, ministers may go, but I will go on. I will go on forever. Such an intelligent man he was. But he was very humble, calm and composed, like Bernard Shaw. Bernard Shaw was a very humble person. Am I taking much time? Why was he a humble person? He was living in a very remote village from London. And the first Prime Minister of India, Nehru, he has read this drama, Apple Cart. And he was very much influenced by the ideas of Bernard Shaw that he found in this drama. And he developed a desire to meet Bernard Shaw. So when he had a plan to go to London, before his trip to London, he wrote a letter to Bernard Shaw. In that letter, he expressed a desire to meet Bernard Shaw. He said, I want to meet you because I am very much influenced by your ideas in your drama. I want to meet you. So let me know whether you are willing to welcome me as your guest or not, because you are a great writer. The first Prime Minister of India says, use this language in the letter. Letter which is Bernard Shaw, living in a remote village, in a very ordinary house. I already told you he was an ugly person. And the letter reaches Bernard Shaw, the letter of Nehru reaches Bernard Shaw. And Bernard Shaw immediately writes letter to Nehru. In the letter he mentions that you are a Prime Minister of a big country, and when you will come to London, you will have a very busy schedule. And even then, if you have time to meet me, if you spare some time to meet me, then I shall welcome you. The letter comes to India after 1 month. Postal department. It takes 1 month. Unfortunate event. In the meantime, Nehru goes to London. He completes his trip. He does not get reply. He thinks that Bernard Shaw is not willing to welcome me as his guest. And he completes his trip to London. From London, he goes to Moscow. And he was staying in a hotel in Moscow. There he gets letters from India. And And that letter was from Bernard Shaw. And the letter, when he reads the letter, he feels a great sadness. And immediately he writes letter to Bernard Shaw. In the letter he mentions that because I got your letter very late and I missed a great opportunity to meet a writer like you. In future, whenever I will go to London, I will certainly meet you. Such a humble person Bernard Shaw was, but the man of such a great height that even the Prime Minister of India is just to meet him. But he misses a great opportunity. So, I was talking about apple cart. Apple cart influenced Nehru very much because the principles of democracy that have been shown there in the drama, they gave a lot of inspiration to Nehru. Now I come to the next drama, third drama, that I studied, Saint John. It became a basis for his Nobel Prize, Saint John. Saint John is the drama in which a great figure, actually Shakespeare used supernatural elements, and Vanessa has used supernatural figure in this a great figure, supernatural figure, Saint John, John of Arc. Earlier she was John of Arc, not Saint John. Saint John was a girl from ordinary village, uneducated girl. We can learn a lot from the life of Saint John. A girl of 90 years, I can compare her to Rani Lakshmibai. When I was teaching at MA level, I was teaching this drama, Saint John, and I asked one of my students to make a comparison between Rani Lakshmibai and Saint John. And she was very happy. It's a good comparison. Saint John was just a girl of 19. Just can you imagine? Girl from a village, uneducated girl, and she got visions and some sorts of messages, voices directly from three saints, great saints. And the visions and voices, they inspired her to go to liberate France from the rule of the British Army. The girl of a small village. She got this inspiration. She was very inspired. She went to a garden, and in the garden she got this inspiration. Her father asked her to marry because all fathers they want their daughter to marry at early age. She protested. She said, "No, I am not born for this." Father asked their sons to take her to the pool and drown her there. हिंदी में कहावत है, जाको राखे साइया मार सके न कोई. She had to do great work, noble work. She had noble ideas in her mind. She was inspired by the divine visions and voices. Just you can imagine, many of you are of the age of Joan of Arc. She just in her life, we can learn a lot from her life, particularly the girls. You belong to the Bundelkhand area, the area in which Rani Lakshmibai was born, and she's like Saint John. And the story is a very long story, and I think you will have a great interest in the story of Saint John. I don't have much time now because the chairperson might pull up me. You are taking a long time, and God Sahib, I am fearful. God Sahib is also there. He will say that I have called you and invited you here to take such a long time. So I think I won't take much time, but even then in short, I will tell you what lesson we can get because we want to connect it with current scenario. What is the message that Vanessa wants to give to this drama that is applicable in the present time? There are so many messages. First message is that the talent and power does not belong only to men, but they belong to women also. First case of feminism, they belong to women also. Belong where women have equal right over power and talent, over common sense. So her father was not very happy with her, and she had a great plan to liberate France from area of Orleans, so that the rule of Charles II may be established in France. Girl of 19, she goes to meet Stuart so that she can get the dress, the uniform of a military man. You will be surprised to know that she wanted to put on the dress of a man, not of a woman. She demanded dress from the steward. She asked steward to give her the horses, to give her the weapons, to give her the uniform, so that she may lead the army of France to victory. Girl of 19 years. Is she less than or Rani Lakshmi less than St. John? Rani Lakshmi also did the same thing. I belong to Gwalior. I have a house in Gwalior. I have seen the place where Rani Lakshmi killed herself. I want to give you this topic for research that you can make a comparison between Lakshmi and St. John. And then, very with a great difficulty, she got permission from steward because there is discrimination there. The steward said, "This girl is mad girl. How can she do this work?" She was declared mad. But God helps those who help themselves. God was there to help her. And when people were surprised, how can you do it? She said, "I am born for this, and it is the will of God that I will liberate France from the British rule. I will liberate." She had some determination. We can learn from her life. Then some bad things happened to Stuart. The priest told Stuart that this girl is not an ordinary girl. Give her permission. Give her weapons. Give her horses. Give her dress, whatever she wants, give her, and then bad things will stop happening. And it happened. When Stuart gave permission to St. John, gave weapons to St. John, then good things started happening. What are those good things? Stuart was in need of the eggs and the milk from cow. He used to take them daily. And when St. John, the John of Arc was waiting for his permission, cows stopped giving milk and hence stopped giving the eggs. The priest said, "Give permission to this girl and bad things will stop happening." Then when Stuart gave permission to the girl, when he gave weapons to the girl, when he gave armor, weapons and dress to the girl, dress of military man, and some soldiers also, along with this girl. Then immediately, hens started giving the eggs and cows started giving the milk. God helps those who help themselves. And she went to the place where Charles II was living. Charles II was head of the army of the France, and there was a commander of the army was there. Permission of Charles was also compulsory for being the leader of the French army. And Charles II had also some doubts about her. And there also, God helps those who help themselves. They also she got help from God. She was declared the commander of the army of France by Charles II. And along with a great group of soldiers, she went to the area where the French army was waiting for the favorable conditions. As she reached there, the commander of the army, now she is commander. She was declared commander of the army. The commander of the army says that the air is not favorable. That is why our army is unable to march there. Then Saint John prayed to God. She said she went to church. She decided to go to church, and there she wanted to pray to God. Immediately, wind became favorable. God helps those who help themselves. Wind became favorable, and the army went ahead. Under the leadership of Saint John, the army of English, the army of Britain, the British army was removed from the area. It had to go back. And French army got victory under the leadership of Saint John, the girl of 19 years. And she got praise from different corners of France. But greatness leads to jealousy. When you rise, then you don't need to make anybody your enemy. Enemy come themselves. So became many enemies emerged against Saint John. I think I'm taking much time. I want to conclude now that what we can learn from the life of Saint John, nobility of ideal. Your ideal should be noble. Your aim should be very high, and you should be very dedicated and devoted to your aim. इसे हिंदी में कहते हैं जनून सवार हो गया है. You want to get success in your life, आपको जनून सवार हो जाए. All the time thinking of that goal, and the present scenario also, we are taught that there should be a goal. In the morning also, the keynote speaker said that without goal, life is useless. And that goal was there before Saint John. She got the goal, but she went to jail. She was sent to jail. And she was accused of many charges. I won't discuss them here. Accused of many 70 charges were leveled against 70 charges. Later on, and one of the charges was that why does she wear the clothes of the man? Why does she wear the clothes of the woman? He's woman, and she's putting the clothes of the man. It was one of the charges. So 70 charges were curtailed to 12 charges, and her freedom was taken away from her. Then finally, the order of the church was against Saint John. Why? Because church authority said that you cannot get direct message from God. You cannot have direct connection with God. It is through church that you can get connection with God only. But Saint John said, no, I am getting visions and voices from God directly. The church was against. It means Maharaja was against church. Orthodoxy was there. Here, Saint John became the mouthpiece of Maharaja. And finally, to your unhappiness, she was burned to fire. She was burned to fire, and she accepted this punishment. And she said to God, "Oh God, I am coming to you as a child. And oh God, when shall this world accept your sins?" Last sentence she uses. When shall this world accept your sins? With this sentence, she died. She was to death. Such a great sacrifice, like Ranlachimai, she made. So there are so many messages, so many lessons we can get from the life of Saint John, and our country. The entire world can get so many things to apply in the current scenario. Now, coming back to Bernard Shaw and William Shakespeare again, because in the conclusion, if you compare your writer with any other writer, then comparison is excellent, then conclusion is excellent. Comparison is required in modern times, because when you go to market to purchase a mobile, you compare. You want to choose the best mobile, you make a comparison. Modern time is the time of comparison because the options are there. Shakespeare and Bernard Shaw. You know it very well. Shakespeare is known for his tragedies, and Bernard Shaw wrote only one tragedy, that is Saint John. All his dramas or comedies or tragicomedies, and this is the only tragedy. And Shakespeare is immortal only because of the tragedies. Second thing, Shakespeare has dealt with the characters belonging to the high family, princes, queens, kings, Macbeth, Hamlet, Queen Macbeth. There are so many kings are there, queens are there, princes are there. But Vanasa is with common people, is with ordinary people. So see the greatness of Vanasa. That's why I told you that Vanasa is at the top. So far as the relevance of his ideas in the current scenario is concerned, Shakespeare is next to Vanasa. See his greatness. He is with common people. His heroes and heroines are common people, ordinary people. Luca in the Ancient Man, I told you, she's like a heroine because she married Sergius, who was to become husband of the heroine of the drama. And Luca, an ordinary servant, she became got the status of a heroine by her intelligence. So Vanessa is with the common people, ordinary people, always. And Shakespeare is with the people belonging to the high class. Shakespeare's intention was to cater to the interest of the audience. But Vanessa's interest, his worry, his concern, his goal was to make changes in society, in politics, in culture, and religion. He wanted to break the established systems so that new system may evolve. He did not care for the response of the audience. He cared for the changes that should take place in society. He himself wanted to become the change that he wanted to see in society. With these few words, I would like to stop here. Thank you very much. My copy. I thought you were doing this as a gift.
No, sorry. Sir. Thank you so much, sir, for facilitating us revisiting GB Shaw in the present scenario very beautifully. And he has helped us to consider what is fair in love and war and what is not fair in love and war. And he has also helped us considering what to keep in our minds while deciding to get married to someone. When we are going to get married, what things we should. So, what things we should keep in our mind while we are deciding about a marriage? And Sir has told us very beautifully that power goes and power comes, but humanity and intelligence and wit remain forever. So, we should not run away or run behind power, but we should try to get intelligence. और शायद आपने थ्री इडियट्स देखी होगी, शायद जीबी शॉय उसमें वो झलकते हैं कि हमें काबिल बनो, काबिलियत अपने आप पीछे आएगी. So now there's a sort of information regarding the paper presentation session. So we have two paper presenters in offline mode, and I think there are 4 people or 5 people in online mode. So first of all, we will listen to the people who are present here offline. So the name of the people who are present offline, one is Anshika Agrawal, and the second one, Miss Iftisham Khadim. Then there are, okay, and Neha Jain is also there. Then we have some people who will present their paper online. So one is Dr. M.S. Vimal sir, Mr. Shirshak Ghosh, Rachna Thakur, Dr. Nitendra Kumar Verma sir, Dr. Sangeeta V. Kongre madam, Miss Sehnaz Khan. So these people will present their paper online. So first of all, I would like to call Miss Anshika Agrawal. Please, Miss Anshika Agrawal.
ऐसे इसी तरह to all the professors. Good afternoon to all the professors of various colleges and and all the dear students. This is Anshika Agrawal, student of English literature. Today it's a great day. We have got the opportunity to attend such a wonderful seminar, and it's a great day of learning also. We have learned a lot by listening our professors, by relating the topics with current scenario. So my topic is modern drama in British literature in relevance to G.B. Shaw, George Bernard Shaw. Uh, let's start with the quotation, famous quotation of G.B. Shaw that life spent making mistakes is more honorable than the life spent doing nothing. It means that if we make mistakes in our life, if and after doing these mistakes we learn something, then I think it is better to do nothing, better to do nothing else, getting no knowledge and all. So this quote makes us learn, tells us that we should do something, we should do something creative so that we can achieve. Now let's introduce G.B. Shaw first. G.B. Shaw, he is an Irish playwright, critic, journalist, pamphleteer, political activist, and polemicist. Polemicist means who the people who are involved, actively involved in contemporary discussions and debates, and in the controversial debates. He has his own imagination. He was interested in the things which are revolutionary, which the people don't think beyond that. So he was like such a great personality. G.B. Shaw was born in a family which has a great fame, but they were not so rich. He had a great influence of his mother. Her mother was a singer. His mother was a singer, and it laid such a great influence on him that he was interested in music, art, and literature. He was a self-educated person. He doesn't like the social school system of Ireland. He didn't spend his days in schools. He decided to educate himself only. And after his career and all, he has also established the London School of Economics. If we go to Britain, we find that there in London there is a London School of Economics. So it's a great thing that a genius we are discussing here. He is a self-educated person. We say that they are great born people. So G.B. Shaw was a great person, and he has written more than 60 plays, including the major plays Man and Superman, published in 1902, Pygmalion, published 1912, and many more plays. He has written more than 60 plays, and he was also a great letter writer. He has written more than 50,000 letters. G.B. Shaw was a great dramatist. When he started his career from 1880s, he didn't get much success. But after that, learning more, he achieved his success by the play Man and Superman in 1902. After that, he has written many screenplays also. As we know that Pygmalion is the play which is very famous, and it was also converted to the screenplay, and it made him won the Oscar prize. He is the only person till this date that he has won two prizes, Nobel Prize in 1925 and the Oscar Prize in 1939. Now let's throw light over his major plays, Pygmalion. Pygmalion is a play which was performed in 1913 in the theater, and it has a protagonist Eliza Doolittle, and the hero is the linguistic phonetic professor Henry Higgins. And these persons, they were at the bus stop. The scene opens in the bus stop, and there they are just sitting, and the professor meets his friend Colonel Pickering, and they were just observing the people in the bus stop. They are listening the people, and this professor was so knowledgeable that he can tell anything about the person by just listening their way of speaking, their way of behaving anywhere. So the people were very impressed, and after that they saw a flower selling girl, that is Eliza Doolittle, and Henry Higgins said that I can transform this women to a duchess. And after this, the girl heard this and they all went away. After the scene shifts to the home of the Henry Higgins, and there this girl Eliza comes to the Henry Higgins and she says that I want to learn. I want, as you said, that you can transform me to the Duchess. So I want that. Make me learn to speak in a way so that I can work to a flower shop. She is a lower class, Cockney speaking, poor flower selling girl, and now she desires to educate her or to speak in a speak like the people who belong to upper class. So here now Henry Higgins takes this job, and he starts transforming this girl. He makes her learn well dressing sense, and teaches how to speak like the upper class people. And after that, when she learns, when her training is over, then he successfully teaches her, and in a ambassador garden party, nobody is able to find out that she is a poor lower class girl. But now, this was just a brief summary of the play. Now, what here GB Shaw wants to illustrate, what he wants to depict, the girl who has come from the lower class now is behaving like an upper class. But does this the real identity? It reflects the hypocrisies and the pretensions of the upper class people. Does the speaking does the accent reflects the real identity of the person? No, not at all. And the perception that we have, that as we say that we don't accept Bundelkhandi a good language, as it is a dialect of our state, and our ancestors and our even our grandparents used Bundelkhandi, but we don't accept it well. We don't find it that it should be spoken by the people. Okay, sir. Spoken by the people, it is not considered well. So here it is the theme that the speech, the accent, the dressing sense, if we adapt it, it doesn't make us look like the person that we belong. And the second, on the other hand, the Henry Higgins is the person who is ill-treating this girl. He is just using the girl. He is just making the fun of this girl. So though he is born in the aristocratic family, but he is not as such great as he should be. So here I would like to conclude my speech, and I would like to conclude with this quotation that GB Shaw has quoted. People see the things and say why. People see the things and say why. But I dream the things which are not present, but I say why not. हम चीजों को देखते हैं और कहते हैं ये कैसे, क्यों, लेकिन मैं ऐसी चीजों के सपने देखता हूँ जो है नहीं, और मैं कहता हूँ कि क्यों नहीं ये हो सकता. So we can do anything with the help of our creativity and imagination. That's all. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Anshika. Now, in the succeeding chain of this seminar, I would like to request Ms. Iksham Khan, madam. Ma'am, please. Ma'am, 5 minutes. हाँ? लीजिए.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to thank the Department of English and especially the HOD sir who has given me this opportunity to present my paper here. Now, I am going to present my paper, and the title of my paper is Women Exploitation on the Basis of Religion and Patriarchy in Durrani's Blasphemy. This paper is an attempt to resurface the problematic nature of religious and the patriarchal discourses against women in the society. Tamina Durrani is a Pakistani English author, born on 18 February 1953, and Afghan Pathan by descent and born into an educated and influential family. She is the daughter of the late former governor of State Bank of Pakistan, Shakurullah Durrani, and granddaughter of Sir Sikandar Hayat. She wrote her autobiography called My Feudal Lord in 1994, detailing her marriage with Mustafa Khar. Durrani's novel Blasphemy is highest degree of male torture upon women and corrupt religious system. The aim of this paper is to point out the challenges faced by Muslim societies in general and Muslim women in particular. Throughout, it clearly emphasized the male domination on women. Durrani has cited and analyzed the plight of women exploitation by men on the basis of patriarchal cultural concept constructed around the power of menfolk. Blasphemy is the story of Heel, the main protagonist, who faces so many exploitation and she oppressed with the patriarchal society and the strict religious rules in which she bounded. The novel is inspired by the true story of a young girl trapped in the cruelest cage of distorted religious belief. The protagonist of the story, Heel, has dreams in her magnetic eyes, just like other teenagers of her age. After her father's death, however, she becomes a burden to her widowed mother. Her mother gets her married at the age of 50 with peace saying, the man of God. Man of extra. And for the people in his mother's word, we are extremely lucky. After your father's death, people did not think we worth anything. Your life is for our dignity in the community. And I could look up now and hurry. He said, I don't want to get married soon. I want to complete my education. Ma was furious. How can you be so selfish, child? You must carry your share of responsibility towards your sister and brother. The subject was closed. Ma had made a choice about the rest of my life. His dreams of happiness get scattered and she enters into peace hurriedly. The man who pretends to be the man of God was actually a demon by nature. The shrine and the domain of his evil maintained by the system inheritance which led him to be the head of the shrine. He tortured her in every way. Her marriage was a serious torturous event, physical and emotional. She is beaten, humiliated, abused, raped, trapped, and made to live in the world her husband made for her. He was in the world where no flaw is permitted, no mistake is forgiven, no logic is applied, and no explanations are given. A world where she is not allowed to cross the threshold without her husband's permission, where she is beaten brutally by her husband. In the words of he, to me, my husband was my son's mother. He was also my daughter's molester, a parasite living on the holy book. He was Lucifer, holding me by my throat and driving me to sin each and every night. He was the rapist of orphans and the fiend that fed the beast. But over and above all this, he was known to be the man closest to God, the one who could reach him and save us. So under the veil of religion, he molested his own young daughter and the other girls of the same age. Taking the advantage of burqa, he presented his own wife to his friend as a prostitute. And he even shot to abortion in a way to save her future children from the torture of the man she married. Red lipstick, penciled eyebrows, a heavy perfume, and I took on the persona of a legalized prostitute. Peace Saint called me Pyari and instructed me to pleasure his friend. So throughout his life, Peace Saint exploited the weak and ignorant people in the name of God and Islam. So, shrine in future, Kali, Guppi, Toti, Tara, Chote Sen, Sakhi Baba, Yathimiri, Cheel, all were the victims of this system. Blasphemy throws light upon a universal issue, how religion is exploited and how it is used as a weapon by the powerful to cripple the masses who ironically don't fully understand their religion. It speaks of religious bigots not letting people realize their freedom of conscience. Instead, these powerful men instill the fear of God through propaganda and distortion of religion, all just to consolidate and hold power and using violence to subjugate and humiliate the weak. So the protagonist of this novel, he lost her dignity, freedom, virginity, and even her humanity under the traffic torturous treatment. So through this novel, we can understand that these women are not against their religion or Allah, but they are against the practices of the clergy. They are supporters of good and peace and accomplishment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to request the people connected online to be present at their turn. First of all, I would like to, मैम अभी हम पहले अभी ऑनलाइन का कर रहे हैं. So to carry on this session, first of all, I would like to request our honorable guests who are present on the dais to be in the front side of camera, sir. Sir, please. So be there, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, after tea. Okay, sir. So, okay. So first of all, I would like to introduce Dr. M.S. Vimal, sir, the head department of English, Government PG College, Niwari. He is going to a lecture on depiction of domestic violence in GB data. So, Dr. M.S. Vimal, sir.
Okay, thank you, Adi. First of all, congratulate the organizers to organize such a wonderful and inspiring seminar on G.V. Shah's literature. I
Yes.
all the delegates arrived from all the corners of state and country. My dear audience, and its title is Depiction of Domestic Violence in G.V. Shah's no peace because from the side the sound is unnecessarily. So this is my request. My paper has been divided into four parts. Motive for writing this paper, discussion, and conclusion. So let me talk about its brief introduction. G.V. Shaw is a renowned personality of English literature, especially he belongs to 19th century. He is an Irish playwright, a great critic and political activist. Even he is also a novelist. What he got fame and popularity as a playwright. He wrote more than 60 plays and was awarded with Prize in 1925. Other than this Nobel Prize, he got also other prizes given to men of letters. My paper will be fully concentrated on Candida. This is a very small play. It has three acts. It covers the story from morning to eve. It starts from morning and ends up to late evening of the same day. It was written in 1894 and published in 1908. This is the brief introduction, and now I talk about its motive of writing. The main motive of writing this paper is to highlight those things that are relevant even today's society. The contents of the play are still applicable to our society. It has some minor and some major characters. Major characters are Morel, Candida, and Eugene Marchbanks. Morel is husband, Candida is his wife, Eugene Marchbanks is a boy of 18 and he is a poet. Eugene Marchbanks is a very contradictory character. Most of the articles have been written by the authors. As far as I am concerned with those, I found that Eugene Marchbanks is still a misunderstood character, whom most of the critics could not understand. Most of them blame over Eugene Marchbanks, who is responsible for the domestic violence of Candida. I take side of Eugene Marchbanks and try to convey that he is not a vicious character. Although he is responsible for domestic violence of Candida, what he is not a vicious character. The things we could not understand is the character of his poetic talent. If we go through the poetic intelligence of Eugene Marchbanks, we would be concluding that he is a very good character and not responsible for any violence. G.V. Shaw also takes side and he shapes and he presents Eugene Marchbanks. He is unknown to all. Directly, a he is a he speaks directly and reveals his feelings towards Candida and starts loving. His love is not ordinary love. His love is poetic love that may be platonic and that may be one sided. What he reveals is feeling to her husband Morel and says, I love your wife, who is pretty, beautiful, and compares with her with queens and other beautiful ladies. Her husband, first of all, ignores him, and when he frequently speaks in favor of Candida and reveals his feelings and open love, then he irritates. Morel irritates, and Morel irritates up to that extent that he calls Candida and asks him to choose anyone either to him or choose me I or him. This is the option for Candida. So here this is a matter of violation. Violation in the sense, being a clergyman, Moral is attached with several ladies. One name is Proji, who is a typewriter. He loves her. Proji objects and Proji is reluctant, even though he loves and reveals his feeling. But Candida never asks him to choose either Proji or her. So this is the example of male dominating violence. As being a male, he can be irritated. As being a male dominant, he can ask his wife to choose any one from them. But as being a lady, Candida can't. So this is emotional torturing. Emotional torturing. However, in this play, there is no beaten. There is no corporal punishment from any side, neither from male side nor from female side. This emotional torturing takes place frequently in this play. And George Bernard Shaw has touched all those aspects of society that are still found in our day to day lives. When we go through the newspapers early in the morning, we see a young girl has eloped with older man, or an older lady has eloped with a junior boy. So the earlier speakers have
Sorry, sir. Please, could you please conclude in 5 minutes?
within due time,
Yes.
and I will not take the time as much as Mr. Chaturvedi has taken. So this is the discussion, and Candida faces these all things, and the entry of unknown person, entry of Eugene Marchbanks is supposed to be the responsible. Ultimately, Morel asks, Morel quarrels with his wife, and both decide that Eugene Marchbanks should leave. And Eugene Marchbanks, being a poet and being a talented person, could guess the situation, and he himself left the home. So this is what I wanted to reveal through my paper. And in my original paper, when I will submit it for publication, we'll discuss in detail. And in concluding part of my paper is that George Bernard Shaw has a multi-dimensional personality. He has touched all the corners, as A.K. Chaturvedi has said that he is next to Shakespeare. However, I don't agree with him, but this is correct that he has touched all the aspects of our society. So, Candida should be studied through the eye of a poetic talent. This is the concluding aspect of this paper. Thank you very much for considering me and adding me as a participant and a speaker in this seminar. I am highly grateful and thankful to all my colleagues who are known to me and unknown to me as well. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Rachna Thakur, ma'am, Assistant Professor, Government College, Gadhasarai, Dindori. Please, ma'am, Rachna Thakur, ma'am. Rachna, sir. Rachna, sir. Dr. Rachna Thakur is not present online, so now I would like to request Mr. Shivsha Ghosh. Shivsha Ghosh.
Yes, can you hear me? Am I audible? Yes, can you hear me? I have a PowerPoint presentation. Can I share
Yes,
my
sir, you are
screen?
audible.
Can I share my screen? If I can share my screen, it will be better. Okay. Thank you, sir. So, good afternoon, respected professors from different colleges, and my dear respected students, and my dears. And this is Hirsha Ghosh from a state college teacher, Department of English from Sirampur Girls College. This is in West Bengal. And I'm starting my topic right now with this slide, with this, and with the topic with an artist is not born but is created in the world by the glory of his or her artistic glamour and attraction. However hard they work, if they can win the hearts of the society, they rise into fame, achieving numerous accolades. If they cannot withstand the pressure and the turmoil of the society, life shivers down their spines, making it difficult to tolerate themselves, to withstand the rest of the society. So the topic for my paper is the rise and fall of Ranu Mondol along with Liza of George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion. I have 8 slides with me, so bear with me for a few minutes only. So as on the left side of the screen is Ranu Mondol, and Ranu Mondol, as you know very well, his full name Ranu Maria Mondol, who became an overnight superstar at Ranaghat railway station after singing one of late Lata Mangeshkar ji's song, Ek Pyar Ka Nagma Hai. By sharing her song through Facebook, Mr. Otendra Chakraborty's account, she became a viral star in the year 2019. Another star, which we can't find in George Bernard Shaw's textbook, is Liza Doolittle of George in the text Pygmalion. And this is of the Pygmalion. It's a character. It's the 1938 movie version of the play Pygmalion. And she's none other than actress Wendy Hiller. We come to the next slide. If we talk about Pygmalion, we talk about Pygmalion myth. When we come to Pygmalion myth, we come to Ovid's Metamorphosis in book 10, where we talk about Pygmalion, who is a sculptor who had built a statue, and he fell in love with the statue, and the statue he named this as Galati, and he had promised the goddess Aphrodite that let the statue be born into a real human being. And goddess Aphrodite had answered his prayer, and the statue called Galati had brought into life. And we can find Pygmalion and Galati fell in love and they lived happily. However, in George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, things had turned something round. In Pygmalion, we find Henry Higgins as a character, Galati Liza Doolittle. Now, Henry Higgins as the professor of phonetics, and Galati as like Eliza Doolittle is a character, is a flower girl and who used to sell flowers at the corners of Covent Garden. And she wants to educate herself, and through the education he was being connected to Henry Higgins, and through Henry Higgins' task was to give her proper education. And however, Henry Higgins was quite tormented, and he was basically like he wanted to pass off her as a duchess. That was the plan. But in Shaw's Pygmalion and Galati were never married. Where, or you can say that they do not have that romantic inclination, because through age, Pygmalion or Henry Higgins is 45 years of age, and Galati was not of that age. And Galati had Liza Doolittle, to be very honest, if I speak on Liza Doolittle's, was and fell in love with a statue with the character called Freddie. And that was the intention. Now, when we come to the next slide, we find the rise of Ranu Mondol. When we talk about the paper, that when we talk about Ranu Mondol, she became popular by singing the song, 4 songs from the film Happy, Hardy, and Hit, and thanks to the music composer Himesh Reshamia. And that song, the Teri Meri Kahani, was the second position of Google's most searched song of 2019 in India. And it soon became its importance in TikTok. And it was hashtag more than 80 million times on that platform. People all over the country used to listen to that song, Teri Meri Kahani. And that was the rise of Ranu Mondol way back in 2019. Once from a beggar, and still he was a founder and was wonderfully singing well. And when we come to Liza Doolittle, like she was a flute. She wanted to be a duchess. And in Act 4 of Pygmalion, if we try to go through it, we find Liza Doolittle wanted to be performed at Shakespeare's exhibition at Earl's Court, and she performed extremely well. And the hostess has declared her as princess. And Liza, in a quote, has told her that the people all stared at me, and old lady has told me that I just speak exactly like Queen Victoria, unquote. Means we find the change, the rise of Liza Doolittle and rise of our Ranu Mondol. And suddenly the fall of Ranu Mondol. Means through our education background, because we do not know the school of the Ranu Mondol, we do not know the college of background of the Ranu Mondol, and and the behavior. People used to say that he was quite rude, she was quite rude. And in a News 18, you can say people, there was one someone was wanted to take a selfie with Ranu Mondol. She did face criticism from her fans and others say for her behavior, rude behavior, and that quick rise. And this
Shersha,
question,
could you please conclude your session?
do
Shersha,
we
could you
have
please
a
conclude your paper?
ending? That's the question that arises when you
Shersha,
talk about Ranu Mondol. And
Shersha
similarly, when you
Ghosh,
talk about Liza Doolittle, that
Shersha
education,
Ghosh,
that
Awas.
with Liza became a lady, and he wanted
Shersha,
to
please,
directly accuse
can you hear me?
our Henry Higgins
Shersha,
by saying that now you have made a
Shersha
lady,
Ghosh,
I'm not fit to sell anything else.
Shersha Ghosh, could you please conclude your paper?
And there was also a loss of identity.
Shersha Ghosh,
Yes, I'm saying something.
could you please conclude your paper?
Okay, just give me 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, sir. And some points to
Okay.
remember with which we need to say that does disrespecting someone
Yes.
for their imperfectness, a sign of an educated person? Does blaming someone for their deficiency in whatever the field of
इसमें
life
इतना टाइम क्यों
a
लगता है?
sign of wise person?
बस उसको फुल में मत करिए, तो एक क्लिक से हो जाएगा, है ना?
Then can we face that catastrophe of those hard tolerance?
बस
Umar, MSD or stop Umar?
Thank you.
You're not minding your top girl.
Thank you. I've done my work.
करिए इसको। Thank you, Sanjay. Now I would like to request Dr. Nitin Kumar Verma, sir, Assistant Professor and Principal Government College, Chandla. Nitin Kumar Verma, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Saying my to test the John feel that they have its own significance as leading literature and literature. On one hand, on the other hand, it will deliver certain complete insight of the play. And in the context of health, used by G.B. Shaw, the play takes some historical religious affairs without sense of humor. It is that aims G.B. Shaw to deriving the conventions of his own society, the current critical study, try to examine dramatic devices and how realizing revolutionary iteration. I would like to conclude my paper because there is time. The art of Shaw is further seen in the social significance that he has into the mind of the maid. The story of St. John has been generalized by imparting the principle of St. John and her warning at the stage being presented in the drama is a business merely of half an hour or so, while in reality the trial is dragged on for more than 1 year. St. John is a model for all historical plays. The scenes are also emotionally satisfying in it is a district play. So the main character of this play, St. John. So in the beginning here I would like to tell you that St. John is the symbol of the power or empowerment of the woman. So with the help of this play, Bernard Shaw wants to tell women are as powerful as the men. They have all the capabilities. They have all the capabilities. They have all the qualities to define herself, and they present his character in the issue. Devil sir?
इसको बंद करिए। नहीं, बंद करो। Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to call Dr. Sangeeta V. Kongre, ma'am, Assistant Professor, and the College University of Mumbai. Dr. Sangeeta, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Am I
Welcome to
audible?
you.
Am I audible? I hope I am audible. Good afternoon. Today's esteemed dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. I'm Dr. Sangeeta Kongre, presenting my paper. I wish to share the screen. Yes, my paper's title is Identity Conflict in Bharti Mukherjee's Jasmine, though it seems little offbeat of the theme for the national seminar. But yes, Bharti Mukherjee, in order to when she presents Jasmine, she refers to G.B. Shaw's, George Bernard Shaw's text Pygmalion. So I'll go to the next slide. This is Bharti Mukherjee, and these are few literary works I have quoted here or cited here for the presentation. Bharti Mukherjee is one of the important immigrant writers who discusses through her writings immigrants' issues. For example, identity conflict, socio-cultural conflict, and dilemma of assimilation. So I'll be focusing more on identity conflict as my paper's title suggests. So Bharti Mukherjee is one of the important diaspora voices in America. She asserts individual Indian identity through her writings. She vehemently challenges hostility of Americans or natives towards Indian immigrants. As we all know that though the American dream, the picture attracts all the people or the public all over the world, yet it has its own pros and cons. But here, Bharti Mukherjee wants to suggest that immigrants are not only encroaching that way, quote unquote, in the American land, but in turn, immigrants are enriching its culture. So, however, she does not do away with the problems of immigrants who are suffering in the foreign land. And when she talks about women immigrants, especially Indian women immigrants to America, she depicts the crisis of identities women go through. So, identity is always in a flux and hence consistently it's in conflict. So, I will take the example of Jasmine, how this identity gets into a conflict and how it is in constant change. I will cite example here of Jasmine. Jasmine, when she gets married, she's the protagonist of the text Jasmine, and when she gets married with with Prakash resembles to Professor Higgins in Pygmalion, who tries to disrupt the old identity of his wife, and he wants to give her a new identity of a modern woman. But due to some incidents, she gets killed, and she wants to go to America. So while her journey towards to America depicts her crisis, her identity crisis, which she goes through. While on the voyage, she gets raped by the captain of the ship. There, she changes her identity from devoted or faithful widow of Prakash as a Sita, and she turns into or she adopts the different identity of being Kali when she kills her rapist. So when she lands in America, that time she adopts too many identities. But when identity one adopts or adores that particular identity, that time it has to be one has to disrupt the past identity, and that becomes very difficult for women. I don't want participants to misunderstand or misinterpret me when I say when I'm talking about women. But yes, I do agree, and you all will be agree that women have a lot of roles to play. Women have to adopt too many identities. So identity is always culture and context specific. In Jasmine, the text, Jasmine's efforts to resolve the dilemma of conflicting identities brings her a lot of disruptions, lot of challenges being in America. Here I have given this example of Professor Higgins, how Prakash tries to reshape that girl, like the Professor Higgins does in the Pygmalion. This conflict brings fluidity among the identities. Flux is there in the identities, which brings, or the crisis of identity brings the psychological trauma and hurdles in the assimilation process in the foreign land. Thank you very much. Due to time constraint, I really wish to stop here. Thank you very much, organizers, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And now I would like to request Miss Shehnaz Khan, Research Scholar, Jivaji
Yes,
University,
sir.
Gwalior. Miss Shehnaz
Sir.
Khan.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So, good afternoon, all the dignitaries and the luminaries of literary field. Myself, Shanaz Khan, accomplished PhD under Dr. Sonia Singh, who is the key speaker of today's seminar. And I'm thankful and feel privileged to the organizer who has given me the opportunity to present my paper here. As the time has a limit, so I would like to present my paper in few words. As we know about G.B. Shaw, he is a greatest dramatist and who has revolutionized the British drama by his works, wonderful works. He is an iconoclast who is always ready to break conventions. And his greatness lies one of his greatest statement. Here he says, I would not face the toil of writing a single sentence for art's sake. As for him, arts should not be for art's sake, but it should be for life's sake. As art is designed or written for the human being to enjoy and to learn and to grow with dignity. As a member of the Fabian Society, he did a lot of public speaking and composed pamphlets. As a Fabian and feminist, Shaw sees that feminist movements are compatible with fundamental ideas of socialism based on equality for people and social reformation, aiming to eliminate the anarchy of rigid social conventions and capitalism which had dictated Victorian society. Shaw brought the new social and political ideas to discuss artistically in his dramatic invention of discussion plays. The characterization of Mrs. Warren's profession, Candida, and St. John are vivid examples or samples of feminist figures that transcend their conventional women role and embrace new ideals of feminism and socialism by the playwrights as a key for social reformation. Shaw, who is regarded as the father of theatre of ideas, as he symbolically attacks on social vices and follies with the deliberate object of turning the nation through his ideas and view that he presented in his plays. He has expressed his ideas practically almost on every subject like literature, religion, marriage, and family relations, racism, poverty, social norms, medicine, and so much so that on heaven and earth in the long run of his dramatic career. In his Man and Superman play, he gives his ideas about the heavenly and the hellish people, and that is very different from our religion, where we say that only the virtuous people can go to heaven and the people who are sinners will go to hell. But the new and I think the revolutionary ideas presented by Shaw that the hellish people are those who lead their life in eating, drinking, and merrymaking, who are not contributing for the betterment of this society and this world. But the people like philosophers, doctors, scientists, scholars, researcher scholars who are doing something new, something innovative for uh, for the humanity and to serve the humanity and for the betterment of this world. They are the heavenly people. So this is a kind of revolutionary ideas that he has presented in his plays. So he has intended to change the current views regarding religion, economics, and sexual relations, found them entirely wrong and unfit to the current scenario by discussing them in his plays. Shaw has used variety of themes in his discussion plays and stunned the people. He has introduced life force theory in one of his plays, which is intrinsically purposive and furious, that it keeps aside everything which comes in its way of creative function and hampers achieving its goal. It never cares for an individual happiness or any social codes, but focuses on its aim of evolving a higher form of life with extraordinary intelligence, regardless of physical prowess and beauty. And I think this is the hour, this is the need of this hour, that we need such intelligent people in for the betterment of this world. Another theme he has dealt is poverty and consider it a social evil in the sense that it follows with illness.
Shehnaz, could you please conclude your research paper?
Yes, yes.
Shehnaz?
So, 2 minutes. Yes, yes. Weakness, moral depravity, and degradation. As a socialist, he thinks that every work should suitably be paid for, whether it's household work done by women for which they are never paid. It's a kind of social injustice done to women for years in society. This is a sort of exploitation of women in the family. Hence, Shaw is of the view that institutions of marriage and family are based on the foundation of fraud, wherein husbands thinks that he is providing honor, security, comfort, prestige to wife. But in the pre-Candida, Shaw has shown that it is the wife who actually provides all the domestic comforts, emotional and moral support to man, and strives hard to keep all the vulgar cares away from her husband. The another serious injustice done to women is that they are underpaid in the industrial world too, despite their working hard in factories, mills, and industries, even in human working condition at the stake of their life, they are given scanty salary. Thus, many women are forced to give in to prostitution, as is shown in the play Mrs. Warren's Profession. So, in the conclusion, I would like to say, in the words of G.B. Shaw, as a Fabian socialist, who wants women to be liberated from the four walls of the prison homes by being caged bird or economic slave dependent on her counterpart. Shaw is against women's dependence on men only because it is socially unjust. Shaw not only gave women the freedom to do as man did, but gave man the freedom to treat women as if they were man. Women are not the incarnation of music, poetry, and painting, but they are flesh and blood as men are. The female for him is not the weaker sex, but the stronger sex in the sense that women's instincts are more compelling, their wills more determined, their sense of reality more vivid, and because the fury of creation is more violent in them than the man. So I just end my speech, and I just forgot to tell you the title of my paper, GB Shaw as a socialist and the supporter of women's emancipation and the political right. And through his plays, he has introduced the new woman who is self-assertive, self-dependent, self-reliant, and yes, self-decisive. That's all.
Thank you so much, Shehnaz. Now I would like to request our chairperson, sir, Dr. P. Bajpayee, sir, to please sir, come on the dais and give the civilizing word. Sir, please.
Hello. Much has been said about Bernard Shaw. I'm not going to say more than necessary regarding Bernard Shaw. Bernard Shaw was a great intellectual, and in his writings, I have found that he talked much of brain, much of intellect, much of his opinion, much of his thoughts, and I don't understand why he neglected the hard side of man, why he separated the intellect from the heart. Now, I thank the organizers and the students who patiently listened the discussion made by the professors. I can suggest my PG students, if they are interested in George Bernard Shaw, they should consult History of English Literature by Legway. It's a very good book. I remember that when I was a student of BA in Banaras, where I got my education, my teacher suggested the book History of English Literature by Khatamiya. Recently, before coming here, I again went to the book and consulted George Bernard Shaw. And I found that there is a good discussion about Bernard Shaw in that book, page 332, 333, 304. So students must have that history of English literature. Because of the corona, I had not been in touch with the students of this university. Otherwise, I had been often invited by Dr. Gaur Sahib, and I came here and enjoyed the company of my boys and girls. Perhaps after the endemic, after the corona is over, I shall be able to come here and talk to my students. One thing more, which I want to say to my boys and girls, that they should be healthy, they should be bold, and they should take regular exercises so they might have good health, and they must do at least some time, they must get some time to do physical exercises so that they may live long like me. I am 79. And I am free from all sort of diseases. न तो मुझे हार्ट की कोई ट्रबल है, न मुझे कोई शुगर की बीमारी है, जी भर के मिठाई खाता हूँ, चाय पीता हूँ, खूब शारीरिक श्रम करता हूँ, इतना श्रम करता हूँ कि मेरे नाती पोते घबरा जाते हैं मेरे श्रम को देख करके। तो आजकल के लड़के न तो शारीरिक श्रम करते हैं, न तो घर में अपने माता पिता की मदद करते हैं। अब अगर दोबारा मेरा आपसे संपर्क होगा, और हो सकता है मेरा संपर्क हो, तो आप मुझसे जरूर पूछिएगा जब मैं यहाँ आऊं कि सर आपने ऐसा आई लव यू की कोई नई जो है मीनिंग आपने निकाली है जो लड़कों के लिए भी हितकर है, लड़कियों के लिए भी हितकर है, माताओं के लिए भी हितकर है, पति के लिए भी हितकर है, पत्नी के लिए भी हितकर है। तो जब मेरी मुलाकात आपसे दोबारा होगी तो एक अच्छी चर्चा करेंगे, क्योंकि मैं घिसे मुद्दों पर जरा कम चर्चा करता हूं। आप कह सकते हैं कि आपका रेंज जो है बड़ा लिमिटेड है। हमारे जो विचार हैं वे 90% लोगों से नहीं मिलते हैं, बल्कि और भी ज्यादा। इसीलिए मैं अपने घर में सबका विरोधी भी हूं, लेकिन मेरे बगैर किसी का काम भी नहीं चलता है। तो अच्छे स्वास्थ्य की कामना करते हुए, और जैसा मैंने कहा कि जो आप एक खरीदिए हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर, ऑनलाइन से मंगवा लीजिए, वो नट सेल में थोड़े में बहुत ज्यादा बात रख देती है। ठीक है, थैंक यू, सबको धन्यवाद। तो चलिए चला कर देगा।
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of the entire School of English, School of Studies in English and Research Center, I would like to thank you Our keynote speaker, Dr. A.K. Chaturvedi sir, and our chairperson, Dr. P. Bajpai sir, and all the dignitaries and students present here. Now, to carry on the session forward, I would like to request Dr. K.V. Herwar sir to start the valedictory session of the seminar. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adi Hawasar. I think students are waiting very desperate this session, and, and I can myself remember the days when I was studying in fourth or fifth standard in school. I I just used to wait when the minute hand goes to 4 o'clock, and we could say, "Hooray, chutti hai." In the same way, students are also waiting, and finally we are there. We can leave the hall, but after 15 minutes. So once again, I would like to request P. sir to chair this session. You are also the chairperson of the session. Please come on the stage. I would like to request to HOD sir to come on the stage, and I would like to request the organizing secretary of this seminar, Dr. Gayatri ma'am, please come on the stage. And we also have one more guest. I think everybody knows about him, Mr. Abhinandan sir. You had been a very important part of this department earlier. So I think it is a very good movement that you should also be here. Okay, so we have our guest on the stage. As customary welcome note, welcome कर रहा था से पहले as customary welcome note, because the event is going from the morning and it's now evening. We have our P. Vajpayee sir, who is a very learned person. He is very experienced person. He is physically fit now. He is also mentally fit. It is very important to us that he is always with us. Whenever we call him, or whenever our HOD sir call him, he is always ready and available for us. So this is a good thing for us that we can hear him at any time. We can call him at any time, and he will be there. Now we have our HOD sir. When dreams come true, it means a very lot. And this is one person is behind the success of this seminar. He is not only the HOD of this department, he is also a motivator for us, not only to the student, but also the we. We are sitting here and standing here just like all the colleagues. So we also welcome you here. Our organizing secretary, Dr. Ma'am, he is also inspiring character for the students, not only to the students, but also to us. And this is her management that we are in this moment, or we are in the final moment of this seminar. So I also welcome her. And we also have Dr. Abhinandan Jain sir. He is a very good friend for me, and he is also a very energetic person. Unfortunately, he has to go somewhere. But before some time, he was also a very immense part of this department. So I also welcome Abhinandan Jain sir. Before this time, there is a tradition after the successful completion of a seminar or any academic event, there is a custom that we should get feedback. So there are two people or two students who have been selected for the feedback. Here, when you will be called on the stage, you are required to present your paper. But what do you feel about the organization of this seminar or about the, we can say the management and arrangements, those were made by us? You have to give your opinion about those things. So first of all, I would like to call Neha Jain, who is also waiting desperately to come on the stage. Okay. So Neha Jain, please come forward and please provide your opinion about this seminar.
First of all, I would like to say good afternoon to everyone. My name is Neha Jain. I am a student of MA 4th SEM. So, first of all, I would like to thanks to the department, to all the teachers and all the respected scholars who come today, and all the all the students who is there in here. So I really enjoyed attending this seminar today, and I got to learn a lot from the scholars, from the Sonia ma'am and A.K. Chaturvedi sir. So it was great to hear so many scholars today, and this is the first time that for me that I'm being the part of this kind of seminar. So it is such a great opportunity for me. So I would like to thank all the teachers for making me the part of this seminar. And I really want to present my paper, but due to the time of lacking, so I could not. But thank you so much for making me the part of this seminar. Thank you so much.
You write a complete article, okay? We'll publish your article in the book.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Neha. Now, one more participant is also here, and I would like to request him, Dr. Abhinandan Jain, sir. You are also one of the participants, so please provide your feedback here.
Thank you, sir, for calling me and giving me such an honor. I would say that this is one of the most wonderful event for me. And I think I had been working in this department for many years, and I found that this event is wonderful and memorable event, because I had requested sir, HOD sir, many times when I was here, that we should organize a seminar, such type of seminar, but because of some unavoidable conditions, positions, we were not able to organize such type of things, such type of event. But it is the opportunity now. We have changed, the college has changed into the university, and there's a lot of facilities are now available to the study center. And naturally, today,
My name is Abhishek Rawat and मैं क्या बोलूँ, ये सेमिनार जो है अभी इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट के द्वारा बहुत ही अच्छे अच्छे कार्यक्रम किए जा रहे हैं, जिसमें हमें सबसे अच्छा जो चीज सीखने को मिली वो एक टीम वर्क, कैसे हम एक टीम के रूप में कार्य करते हैं, कभी हम मंच के आगे रहकर तो कभी हम मंच के पीछे रहकर। तो ये जो टीम वर्क है ये है, आप में नेतृत्व करने की भावना भी आप एक लीडर बनाता है। जो हमारे टीचर्स हैं वो टीचर्स हमें जो मार्गदर्शन देते हैं कैसे उनके निर्देशन में कार्य करना है, हमें कोई भी काम करना है, ताकि हम क्या सीखें आगे जाके, कैसे क्या कोई भी प्रोग्राम हम कैसे ऑर्गेनाइज कर सकते हैं। तो इन सब चीजों का जो सीखने का हम लोगों को अवसर मिला उसके लिए सभी टीचर्स को, रिस्पेक्टेड टीचर्स को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। धन्यवाद केपी शर्मा। Thank you.
After having the participants and the students, now it's time to call our respected advisor that he should bless us with his grace words.
Thank you, Kelly sir. A long exercise from 10:30. I think the most important and of this seminar are our students. So we are nothing. So it is because of you that you are here and working hard since yesterday. You are working 8 hours. I tell you that you came out 9 o'clock and here 5. So what we will achieve today, that is because of you are our foundation. You are the brick that will be us now listen to your feedback. Now we have to be that be able to plan some more such activities in the future. And these activities benefit only the students. They also help a lot to be. We learn from the students, we learn from us. In future, we'll do some other activities and will do better or learn from the activities. Whatever the mistakes, in future we'll try to rectify them. All of them are very much like assets to me. I can't do it. They are my hands, my brain, my soul, each and everything. I'm nothing. What we have done today, what we have achieved today, it is a collective work. We are a whole family. What we have done, what we have achieved, the result of is a whole family. This is what I want to now, okay. A very slight thing. You can say that maybe sweet, and I don't know, but I want that please raise your hand who are from fourth semester. How many students are from fourth semester? One, okay, 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, 4, no, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, round about 8. Now 8 students are fourth semester. How many there? 2 or 3, 10. Okay, 10 are there. Okay, please raise your hand from first semester. Okay, number two. Okay. So you know that total, okay, the total first semester is 100. Considering the total number and semester 4, the presence It is impressive. So my request to you is that whenever we organize any future activity, please try to enhance more. Okay, for me, because I am to such a state that remains is complete fulfillment. That is complete satisfaction. However, that is for the benefit of you people. That is my passion that makes any event successful. Okay. Once again, I thank you, all of you, the members of my department, and my dear friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for inspiring our students. Now, uh, it is a custom, however, our sir has already delivered a vote of thanks to our students. I request Dr. to come on the stage and thanks, please.
Good evening to the Honorable Dr. P. Bajpayee sir, Dr. Gaur sir, Dr. Gayatri madam, Abhinandan Jain sir, K.B. Ahrwar sir, Iftisham madam, all the participants and my dear students. Feeling thankfulness and not expressing it is like wrapping a gift and not giving it. I, on behalf of the School of Studies in English and Research Center MCBU Chhatarpur, take the opportunity to put all my gratitude into words. First of all, I extend my thanks to our Honorable, very dynamic and energetic Vice Chancellor, Professor T.R. Thapak sir, for his moral support and guidance. A special thanks to the Registrar, Dr. J.P. Mishra sir, to take out his schedule the seminar. I would like to propose our thanks to the Chief Guest, speaker of the inaugural session, Dr. Singh ma'am, for listening to his interesting and thought-provoking to Dr. S.P. for his valuable lecture and who is the speaker for making excellent presentation and making the seminar interesting. I would also express our profound gratitude, Dr. P. Sir, for inviting us. It must be given to A.K. Chaturvedi sir, his very valuable lecture. I must not forget to organizing committee for working hard for a few days to make this seminar successful. Thanks a lot to our HOD and coordinator of the seminar, Dr. B. Singh Gaur sir, for running a wonderful seminar which has attracted participants from all across the nation. I would like to propose our vote of thanks to the organizing secretary, Dr. Gayatri ma'am, coordinator, Dr. K.B. Ahrwar, Dr. Singh ma'am, and Mr. David Kumar. Sir. Dr. Active participation in this seminar. I extend my gratitude to the members of registration team, B.D. Namdev sir, Anand Pratap Yadav sir, Mr. N.K. Patel, sir, and Sandeep Chaurasia, sir. Thanks to Satyam, sir. Special thanks must be given to media coordinators, Dr. S.P. Jain, sir, and Dr. Aditya Vikram Singh, sir. The deepest craving of human nature is the need to be appreciated up in such a great numbers, and all the other members who extended a helping hand for completing this event. We would love to come back with more and more interesting events in the future and expect your participation. Once again, thank you all for your cordial cooperation. Keep reading and keep loving literature. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. मैडम प्लीज प्लीज अभी चेयरपर्सन रह गए हैं हाँ हाँ इसके नहीं 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 ओके थैंक यू वेरी मच कमलेश मैम मैम
मैडम अच्छा नहीं लगेगा प्लीज आइए प्लीज आइए तो मैं आपको नीचे आती हूँ लेने के लिए आप आएंगी
Dr. Mamta Vajpayee ma'am, who is now I want to welcome Dr. Mamta Vajpayee ma'am, who is Dean of Student Welfare, and she is one of the guest of honor. She was busy in some important meeting because the university is going to host a big event, and that is Dikshant Samaroh. And the university is also going to host state level awards. So both the matters were to be discussed in that meeting, and in that meeting, our Mamta Vajpayee madam were busy. So this is the reason why he could not come to our event at the scheduled time. But after all, she is with us. So I would like to welcome her. And because this is the final moment of the seminar, ma'am. So, so I would like to request Dr. P. Vajpayee sir. But still he is energetic, and that's the reason he is from the morning to evening. He is the only person, only guest. Okay, it's all right. Because your clapping sound is very weak, so he is saying that I am Pila karo. Okay, I would like to. Okay, so finally, to invite P. Vajpayee sir to deliver his final words of. So please, Vajpayee sir, please come forward. After the speech of Vajpayee sir, everybody will come here for a group photo. Okay, sir.
बहुत ही हिम्मत वाली हैं आप लोग जो आप लोगों ने इतना धैर्यपूर्वक सुना, वरना महिलाएं सुकन्याएं सुनने की आदि नहीं होती हैं। इसीलिए उन्हें तमाम प्रकार की डांटें भी सुननी पड़ती हैं, क्योंकि पुरुष कम बोलता है। प्राइड एंड प्रेजुडिस का उदाहरण सामने है। पुरुष कम बोलता है, महिलाएं जरूरत से ज्यादा बोलती हैं। तो अगर आप में पुरुषों का ये गुण आ जाए तो बड़ी अच्छी बात होगी। और ठीक है, मेरा आशीर्वाद आप सबके साथ है, क्योंकि इस बढ़ती उम्र में ऐसा लगता है कि सभी लोग अच्छे रहें, गलत जाएं। इसलिए आप लोगों से भी यही प्रार्थना है कि अच्छे बने। अच्छा इंसान बनना बहुत जरूरी है। एक बार आपको अच्छी नौकरी न मिले, एक बार आप प्रोफेसर न बन पाए, इंजीनियर न बन पाए, लेकिन यू शुड बी ए गुड मैन एंड गुड वुमन, इतना तो होना ही चाहिए। और इसी के साथ
Thank you very much. In your day-to-day life, you have already seen that there is a very good relationship of friendship between grandpa and grandson. So this is the whatever P. Vajpayee sir wanted to deliver to you. P. Vajpayee sir wanted to say something to you, and the message that has been delivered by him is very important. That everybody should come up to him. As I have already told you, that everybody should gather to come here together and for a photo session.
Umar Itichiko. Umar Makleo kin munchu.